Hello and welcome. Now for the whole of 2020, I'm attempting a no buy / low buy. Now this is my update for May. We're going to talk about how much I made, how much I spent, and what were the categories I did my spending in, how much I was able to save during the month. I'm going to share with you all the new things that came into my life. I have a few things that I purchased, a gift, a couple of hand-me-downs, as well as like a miscellaneous thing that I don't know what to categorize as. And usually I would be sharing with you the products I've used up during this month. However, there isn't any, so let's just get into the new things. First things first is these boots. I have actually had them for maybe 4 or 5 years now, so they're not new. However, what does make them new is the fact that I've reheeled them and I've resoled them. I always try and do this where possible, depending on the shoe. It's something I've been doing for like quite a few years now. I'm very happy I discovered it because it prolongs the life of the product. It means that also you get a lot more bang for your buck because you can continue to use them and wear them for a lot longer. And it's just great because if you get a pair of shoes that you really, really love, you can continue to use them for ages and not have to buy a new pair. I don't really have any cons of doing this. I think everyone should do it where possible, and it's really a good thing to invest up front when you first purchase a pair of shoes so that they are good quality and they will continue to last. Therefore, you can do the rehealing and resoling. So yeah, I don't know, it makes me very happy. It cost me $45. They will continue to last me for like another couple of years before I have to rechange the bottoms again. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. The next thing is a random collection of jars. Now, these are kind of, I guess, hand-me-down items. I just asked different people in my life, hey, do you have some little jars in your cupboard that you're not using that I could have? Because I wanted to get some more spices and add some more flavor into my cooking because I'm a pretty boring cook. However, I didn't want to buy brand new jars for no reason when I know there's always going to be some somewhere in circulation. And also, I don't like the ones that you get in the supermarket because they're like too thin and it's hard to put in a measuring spoon. So I wanted ones that had more wide mouth, and yeah, I don't know, there we go. It's really helpful as well because I can fill them up at the bulk place where I shop, and that also helps to save a little bit of packaging and it's a little less wasteful. So very happy about that. And they're also just really cute, and every time I open my cupboard I'm just like, oh, they're such sweet jars. I know it's a bit random, but things like this make me happy. I can't explain why, it just, I don't know, it just makes me a little bit happy when I see things like that. So the other things I got, which were hand-me-downs, which is this. I have 2 scrunchies, I think that's what they're called. They actually came from one of my clients. So I do disability support work. I support different people in their day-to-day life to live the life that they want to live, and I help, you know, wherever they see fit or wherever they need it. So one of my clients did a massive declutter of her room, and while I was organizing all the things so that we could take it to Vinnie's and sorting out like the trash from the good things, yeah, I found these and I asked her, you know, do you mind if I have them? And she didn't mind, and I thought, well, you know, I've got long hair, I could definitely use some scrunchies. And also from that same person I got this because they were decluttering it, and I thought, you know, picture frame. It was like maybe a good opportunity to print off some of the photos of like different memories I have, and yeah, make my space a little bit more homely. And I don't know what else to say about it, but yeah, I got a picture frame. I probably wouldn't have like gone and purchased it, but I just thought, oh, you know, might as well take the opportunity to make a nice little collage. I don't know. The next thing I got from that person, however, this was more of a gift. Now, we often spend a lot of time out in the community together when I'm with her. So we go to the cinema and do things like that. However, obviously that hasn't been able to happen over the last few months. So we've been doing a lot of baking at home together. And one day we went to Big W, and yeah, the baking stuff was on sale, and I think she saw these, and mint green is one of her favorite colors. So I think it was like an impulse buy. She purchased them. However, there was already some at home. So when we got back, she's like, oh, I don't know why I got these because I already have some. And I was like, oh, let me buy them off you because I kind of want to do some baking at home and I don't have any. And she was like, no, just have them. And I was like, oh, you sure? And she's like, yeah, it's going to be your early birthday and Christmas present. So, you know, mid-year, but I've got my birthday and Christmas present. And yeah, it's been really useful because I have been doing quite a bit of baking, and it sort of started off, yeah, my little baking collection. And I'm going to show you some more items that I did end up purchasing myself, but that was a gift from her, which was really nice. So some of the things I got myself. Yeah, so I have been doing baking with her. However, her family eats like wheat, so we've just been using normal flour, and I'm gluten-free and my dad's celiac, so I couldn't really enjoy the things that we're making, so I really wanted to start baking some of the things I made with her, but doing it in a way that I could eat the end result. So I did pick up some baking supplies. I was fortunate enough to be able to get some of them from my family home anyway, because that's where I'm living at the moment. I live downstairs, I have my own little kitchen, but I was able to get some things from upstairs that just weren't being used. So these are the things that I did end up buying though. So I've got some reusable silicone cupcake liners. I got a cupcake tray from upstairs, however, it was kind of a bit old and rusty and I didn't want to put the batter directly onto it, so I thought the liners is a good option. And it's been really useful. I really like these, and they make it super easy to pop out the cupcake afterwards. I don't really like the paper ones as well. One, because they're a bit wasteful, but two, I always find that my batter will stick to the paper ones. Got a spatula because I couldn't just steal the spatula from upstairs. Cake mold, or like for maybe banana bread or something like that, which I've used once. And then I got this, which is a springform pan. There was a cake pan already upstairs. However, I have been given the best vegan cheesecake recipe ever. 2 people that I know actually gave me the same recipe, and then me and my client made it for her mum for Mother's Day. But I wanted to try it myself. It's important to have a springform pan because otherwise the cake is going to get stuck. So I got this one and I've made it twice. It's absolutely incredible. And then I also got this bowl, which I had a fruit bowl, but every time I whisked in it, the batter would land on me and like go everywhere because the bowl's, I think it's called a rim, wasn't steep enough, if that makes sense. So I just decided to like bite the bullet and get a bowl. So those are the few things that I purchased, and I was able to get a blender, which I needed for making like the sort of vegan recipes and making it really nice and creamy for the cheesecake. I got a cooling tray, the cupcake tray which I mentioned, another cake pan, and then just a plain baking tray from upstairs. So I was able to get those things to also add to my baking needs. So it meant I didn't have to get as many. However, I did buy them all brand new, and that was partly to do with the fact that all the secondhand stores have been closed due to what's going on. However, like Big W and those big department store type places have remained open. And also this month it was all like half price, and I think that's to do with the fact that other people have been baking as well in isolation, and also because it was Mother's Day in May. So the next thing I got to do with the baking was a mixer. I tried without, however, it was no, it just took too long and it was not an enjoyable experience. So I picked this one up. I price compared online, and then I went to Harvey Norman that sells these things in my local area. They matched the online price, so I got it from $70 to $50. And then it also came with a few different attachments, whisk, beater, and dough hooks. I don't think I need all the attachments, but that's how it came. And I'm just storing it in this little box. But yeah, I don't know, it's been really useful, and I'm very glad that I purchased those things. And I guess this has kind of like made me realize I need to kind of second guess the whole calling this challenge like a no buy, because I think it's more of a low buy if I'm honest. However, I don't feel guilty about any of the things I bought. It's like very much well thought through. I usually wouldn't invest up front in lots of things for a new hobby, but because it's something that I have been doing already for over a month before I even purchased the things I was doing it with my client, I did feel comfortable to do that. But yeah, I don't know, I think I want to make a separate video where I talk about guilt and like maybe obsessing over challenges and like the numbers and money, as well as, yeah, how to deal with when you give yourself really like tight restrictions and trying to find that healthy balance. And I think at the moment what's happening for me as I do these updates is I do feel like I am working within a healthy balance, but I think technically we need to start calling it, or I need to start calling it more of a low buy than a no buy. But yeah, I don't know, I'll talk about that maybe in a different video. So those are all the new things. Oh, and toothpaste. It's not very interesting. I got toothpaste this month. Yeah, there's all the new things, and let's talk about the money. So For the month of May, I made a total of $8,097.02. I spent a total of $838.21. That gives me a grand savings of $7,258.81. So there you go, a bunch of different numbers. Basically, once again, I'm making way more than I'm kind of expecting to make. I feel like I'm always a little bit blown away by that because I've never made that much in my life. I'm very fortunate that I'm not having to pay rent at the moment, which is why I'm able to save so much. Yeah, and I think I spent roughly, I'm about $20 difference from how much I spent this month to how much I spent in the month of April. So yeah, I don't know, kind of similar. I would like to maybe bring it down a little bit, but it's also, I'm quite happy with where things are at. So in terms of the different categories, we've got gas. I spent $160.63. I was very confused to how I spent like $100 less compared to last month. And then I realized that actually gas prices and petrol prices went down quite a bit in Australia. And I always try and support more like independent gas stations because they often have much cheaper prices. So I think that's why that is a lot lower than usual. Groceries, I spent $278.38. Partly that's to do with I joined a co-op and I bought quite a lot of nuts to do with my baking and also just like to eat in general, and so they were a little bit more expensive because I wouldn't usually buy them. And then I also had a friend staying with me, and when someone's here I usually make a little bit more effort in terms of the cooking, so I was eating a little bit more lavishly than I usually would, and also buying things to bake with made that a bit more expensive. The next thing was eating out. I spent $87.50, so about the same as last month. Things, I spent $150.70. Now $84 is the total of how much it costs for all my baking things, so I was pretty happy with that. That is mostly to do with the fact that it was all half price at the time. And then I spent $45 on the shoes and $10 I think on toothpaste. My cat cost me $32, same as last month for her cat food. Bills, I spent $125. $70 I think is for the internet, $25 for my phone, and then I spent $30 to get a membership with the local co-op where I live. It's a volunteer run co-op. It's great because the prices of all the bulk ingredients is actually a lot less than what the bulk stores are in this area. So that's really good. And it's also just nice to support sort of more of a local community run based co-op shop situation. So that's been really nice, and one of my friends volunteers there, so I go down and I see him and I get my bulk things, and it's just like a nice thing to do. And the next thing was experiences. Well, I put it in experiences. I basically just gave $4 to someone who was busking when I went to the supermarket, and I really enjoyed his music, so I don't know, but I put it under experiences because like that's I guess a category that it would fall under. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this update, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!